As a British person, there's a bunch of things which are culturally part of my DNA. Milky tea, for example, the Spice Girls, bowler hats, and an unbridled desire to colonise the world. All of these things, however, pale in comparison to my love for Doctor Who. Indeed, my love for Doctor Who is so immense that I've spent the last several months in a giddy daze as we slowly approach the 60th anniversary specials. Yes, if I manage to get my arse into gear and put this video out on time and you're watching on release, the 60th anniversary is right around the corner. It was in the middle of one of my regular conversations with a work colleague where we fawn over David Tennant that it occurred to me that I've never actually played a Doctor Who video game. I know, I'm as shocked as you are. Well, now seems like as good a time as any to fix that.
Oh, I can't wait. How old is he?
Given the long history of the show, it'll come as no surprise that there have been a plethora of video game titles featuring the Time Lord, with quality varying immensely between each of them. So where else should we start but at the beginning? There were a handful of unofficial games to feature elements of the franchise in the early 80s, but we won't be looking at those. Doctor Who nerds like myself are all about that canonicity. The first licensed, actually official game was Doctor Who: The First Adventure, developed by Jeremy Ruston and released for the BBC Micro in 1983. You play as the Fifth Doctor, Peter Davison. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Despite the primitive graphics of the BBC Micro, the developer really captured his likeness, I think. Anyway, as the Fifth Doctor, you'll need to complete 4 levels in this game, each styled after different, better games. Overall, you have 60 minutes and 15 lives, which are called regenerations, to get through the 4 mini-games and win the thing. So, level 1, you must escape the Labyrinth of Death, which is inhabited by the evil weevils of Ouroboros 4 by collecting the 3 pieces of the Time Key. Christ, I'm lost already. Yeah, this level is your basic Pac-Man clone, except terrible. Unlike the smooth, well-defined corridors of Pac-Man, this game opted to use jagged, pixely nonsense for walls, which you will get caught on while trying to run from the... worms? Snakes? I'm not sure what a weevil is meant to look like. These things. With each piece of the key collected, the weevils will get faster. Great. I don't think I've struggled with the first level so much since Driver on the PS1. The weevils have fairly primitive AI, so avoiding them isn't too bad initially, but as their speed increases, panic sets in and you get stuck on these walls every damn time. This is bad enough, but it's compounded by the terrible control scheme. There's no WASD or arrow keys here, kids. Instead, we're using Z and X for left and right, and all the way over here we use apostrophe and / for up and down respectively. Talk about confusing. Anyway, after about 2 hours and several cups of tea, I get the 3 pieces of the key and get all the way back to the TARDIS in one piece. But then, we find out that our companion has been imprisoned in the Space Citadel and we need to blow up the walls to rescue them. That sounds pretty action-packed. I can't wait to... Oh. My eyes! The second level is Frogger. I think. Except with all your favourite Doctor Who baddies, such as rockets and the Loch Ness Monster? Bit of a weird one, but okay. We travel up the screen, avoiding the badmans, so we can plant an explosives in each of these 5 alcoves. Once we reach one, we get sent back to the bottom of the screen. Why the Doctor couldn't bring all the explosives with him at once, I'm not sure. This might be the hardest level in the game. It took me an agonising number of attempts to get up the screen and across 5 times without running out of lives. But get across I did. Level 3 then tasks you with getting back to the TARDIS for your escape. But oh no, the Doctor accidentally parks it on the edge of a cliff, down which waves of pterodactyls fly at you, a la Space Invaders. Unlike Space Invaders, however, your player isn't constrained to the bottom of the screen, instead moving up after each wave, putting less space between you and those beastly dinosaurs. This wasn't too bad, and I was able to just spam space to fire until I won. Next time, park the TARDIS closer to the shop entrance is all I'm saying. Just one more level to go. Right, so we must now create a path to the centre of the universe by navigating through a portion of space patrolled by enemy aliens named the Box of Tantalus. Oh man, this sounds awesome. That's not what I was expecting. So this last level is meant to be like battleships, but I have no idea what I was doing. You select a box and launch a probe. You then get a prompt if something is there, and you can then fire a rocket to take out that guard. I just made random selections for half an hour without success and eventually looked my way into winning. Either way, once we've won, that's it. Congratulations, the second age of time has begun. Still no idea. Sorry mate, still lost. Overall, this wasn't a terrible experience. I could see what the developer was going for in each minigame, but the execution left a lot to be desired. The BBC Micro was an interesting 8-bit computer system, and given the limitations they were dealing with, this was probably a pretty good game for that time period. My main complaint is the control scheme. Looking back at the game from 2023, it's painfully obvious that ZX' and / is ridiculous. I know that the WASD standard didn't come about until the mid-90s, so I can forgive them for not using those keys. The BBC Micro did have arrow keys, but they're all up in the top right of the keyboard in this weird configuration. I wouldn't use those either. Whichever way you cut it, this game was a weird but worthy first entry into the pantheon of Doctor Who video games. It's not particularly fun to come back to 40 years later, but it's an interesting insight into that period of gaming history. If you'd like to play Doctor Who The First Adventure, you can do so rather simply by visiting the BBC Micro Archive website, which allows you to launch games within your browser. No emulator required. I'll leave a link to this game specifically in the description. Have you played Doctor Who The First Adventure before? What's your favourite Doctor Who video game, and would you be interested in seeing me review it? Are you pumped for the 60th anniversary specials? I know I am. I'd like to thank you very much for watching this little blast from the past, and if you want more, please do consider liking and subscribing. I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.